We're back. Fundamental coordinates, Uganda. Fundamental coordinates, Uganda. Imperial Stout Asian bourbon barrels with Ugandan vanilla. This is a 14.98% alcohol beer. 30 IBUs yet again.
Same as the other one?
Same as the other one. I would think they're all going to be around the same. They all have the same mash bill that I talked about previously. I'm excited. I think we're all a little apprehensive because we're worried if it's going to taste any different than Indonesia.
Yeah.
Mary, looking at the bottle, you'll notice that little rabbit creepy thing.
It's a rabbit lion.
It's called
Rompo.
Rompo, exactly.
Sorry.
It's a mythological beast. It has the head and mouth of a hare, human ears, a mane, a slender body. It's about 3 feet in length. Has the front feet of a badger and the rear feet of a bear.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Based on the
Your
research,
ears look like that?
this is based on the research that I did and pulled off of Wikipedia. Though picture they have on their bottle is not quite the same.
Bear legs?
Not quite the same as what I described, but that's what I pulled off the internet. So
It looks cool. I like this guy. I like this guy better than
the come over.
the lion thing or whatever it was from Indonesia.
Yeah, the labels for these, once again, this is more of a brown yellow color. They all look cool. They all look different. Yeah, Rafa, how do you compare that rabbit thing to the barong of Indonesia?
I mean, it looks different, but are these just like their cultural, like what?
They're mythological creatures from that country.
All right.
Yeah,
I like chupacabra,
exactly.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, if they did Mexican vanilla, it would be like a chupacabra.
That's not mythical.
But that's enough talking about it. Let's get to drinking about it.
Drop the merch link, Bromatures.
No merch.
Everything's sold out as of now.
Just stuff that we've made ourselves.
Kind of nervous watching you pour that.
Why?
Just of the expectations.
Yeah, high expectations on these beers. Obviously, they were super limited release, limited produced. Was it worth the hype and worth my time going to go get them? Obviously, for these videos, it was. Whew, something bad's gonna happen in here. Something bad's gonna happen in here. I can feel it.
Oh
I hand that to you.
Thank you.
Hand this to you.
Thank you.
To the nose. That's vanilla.
Yep.
More or less vanilla than the last one we just had.
Smells like Indonesia.
Oh no, we're smelling Indonesia, guys.
Maybe they got the same beans in there.
I get slightly more vanilla on this one, I think, than the other one.
Do you though?
It still smells like dirty vanilla to
Do
you?
you though?
I get
Yes.
the like vanilla.
Yes, it smells
yeah.
like Indonesia to me. You know what they just did is they just mass produced all of these bottles, put different labels on them.
Our greatest fears have been realized.
They got a
And
good
they-
marketing team.
They tricked you into going to Bottle Logic every day to pick these up.
All right, let's taste this.
I guess it does have a little bit more vanilla taste. I mean, smell.
This guy's already tasted it.
I would say this has less bourbon kick than the other one did. Very smooth. This is the highest ABV stout that we've had tonight. You're not having any of it.
So it's the same amount of bourbon kick, but it does taste, I think, a little different than Indonesia.
Yeah.
I got a basic palate, so it kind of tastes the same.
This the same for you?
It tastes pretty similar. I don't know.
It tastes similar, but I feel like I get a little bit of chocolate something at the end. And maybe you guys got that with Indonesia, but I didn't.
I didn't get as much chocolate with Indonesia. This one, I would say I get a little bit more of that chocolate, almost coffee-ness that I usually get with a stout. Yeah, the nose is very similar.
I mean, it's similar, but maybe it's just, I mean, it's vanilla. Maybe it's just like something Like maybe Gordon Ramsay can taste, you know,
The difference?
yeah, but like
It is different to me.
Were you just using it as a mouthwash?
Yeah, I was a big chew. To me, this one tastes a bit thinner than the last one we just had.
I just chewed it. It tastes sweeter.
Maybe that's what it is.
It tastes a little sweeter.
Because it doesn't have that bourbon kick, it's a little bit sweeter.
I don't
in the vanilla.
agree with that sentiment.
I don't get as much bourbon in this one.
I feel like if anything, if I'm gonna like cherry pick a little, maybe a little bit more vanilla.
A little bit more vanilla. And that's what we also said on the noses. Perhaps there's a little bit more vanilla. And maybe
But-
that's just the vanilla that grows in Uganda. Is a
But
little
I mean,
more.
if you went, like if you poured me the first one, and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna pour you another one.
Yeah.
And you came back and you gave me this one, I'm like, oh, it's the same one.
Yeah, I would believe him. Yeah.
You know, at this one, I guess I'm just trying to like nitpick and what I can try to.
It is
find.
close. It is close. I will say they are very similar. But to me, I do get a slight difference in them.
Is it like in the texture, the creaminess, and the vanilla? What is the difference you get?
Yeah, I mean, this one, like I said, it's also smooth, but there's less bourbon. So there's less of that burn. And then, as Mary said, it's a little sweeter to me. And I do get a little more chocolate in this one than I did in the Indonesian one.
I like the idea that Bottle Logic had with the different vanillas from around the world. But I kind of wish that they put something else in there too, like something that Uganda has only, or like something that Indonesia has only, or they're famous for.
Gotcha.
What does tasting notes mean then? Like if it doesn't taste like it, then what's the point of even putting
Well,
it on the
that's
bottle?
like Rafa said, he doesn't have an attuned palate.
Yeah.
And most of us don't, but tasting notes are similar to whiskey. We'll do tasting notes. Some foods will do tasting notes, but it's flavors you can get from a beer or from a whiskey when you taste it.
Yeah, so I'm asking you where the mole is in here, and you said no. It's
Mole,
just,
do you know what mole is?
it's just tasting notes.
Rafa, explain to her what mole
I
is.
know what mole is, but I don't like. Yeah, I mean, I wish that there was a little bit of a spice.
This one
in here.
is, but here's the thing. We both said this one's a little sweeter.
Yeah, that's true.
And I got more chocolate in this one than the last one, and mole is chocolatey and sweet.
So, do you think that we should do a blind taste test of these and see if we can pick the mole out?
Only one of us. There's enough for one of us to do it.
All right, you're the one with the best palate.
All right, I'll do it at the end of this video. But first, we're gonna sip it on a little while longer and then come back with our final thoughts. And we're back. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 4.5. Liked what I found here. This is sweeter. This is sweeter than the last ones that we had.
Okay.
Plenty of vanilla, less bourbon kick for me, which I prefer personally, and I got chocolate in it, which I did not get in the Indonesian one. Mary, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a 4.75.
Okay, so it's up there with Indonesia for you.
Yeah, I can taste a little bit of a difference here with a little bit of a more sweetness. Same bourbon kick. Vanilla's there. Vanilla, I mean, obviously vanilla's there. That's a given.
Right.
But yeah, I like it. It's just maybe my palate isn't refined enough. I can't tell the difference between Indonesian
It's just
vanilla
literally where
and
they grown. Yeah.
Ugandan vanilla.
Yeah.
Rafa, how about you?
I think I'm gonna go with the same as the other one, which was Uganda. No, with Indonesia.
4.75?
Yeah, 4.75. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't taste much difference. Maybe if I was to like really reach, it would be like maybe a little sweeter. But if it was a blind taste test, I don't think I'd taste the difference.
Well, that's interesting because we're going to do a blind taste test right now.
Oh.
They're going to line up 3 taster glasses and pour into each of them both the Fundamental Observation 2019, the Fundamental Coordinates Indonesia, and then Fundamental Coordinates Uganda. And we'll see if I can taste the difference, and maybe I'll rate which one I like the most.
But as of now, your ratings are this one as your top one.
This one's my top one. It'll be hard, I think, between this and Indonesia, if I'm being honest.
I guess that's the thing about it with like the 2019 FO.
Yeah.
That one stands out. Not like it's better, but it's different than these two.
For sure
Yeah.
different.
But then these two are just so similar.
It's a subtle difference. And I feel like that may be the case with all of these coordinate beers, is that it's going to be a subtle difference.
Yeah.
It's not saying that they're bad, but they're just very similar.
Very similar.
They're very good, actually. But it's
All the
just-
same species of vanilla, too, just grown from different places from around the world. But without further ado, we're going to cut and then come back with the blind taste test. Woo!
Oh shit, is it back in there? No, I think this one's over here.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one's over here. Okay, so when we're looking at it, Indonesia, base, Uganda.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna remember? Because I can't.
Yeah.
He's so excited about this. Can you tell how excited he is?
Yeah. I wonder if we can actually taste the difference.
He's not gonna be able to. Maybe with the original, like the fundamental observation.
And we're back. This is going to be a blind taste test in that the three beers we've tried today, Fundamental Observation 2019, Fundamental Coordinates Indonesia, and Fundamental Coordinates Uganda, have been poured into these three taster glasses. I have no idea which is which. On camera, you saw a little glimpse into how they did this. I'm just going to go from my left to right. It'll be your right to left. So, without further ado, let's get to it. To the nose. Oh yeah, there's vanilla there. This is gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be tough. I will say, they could have just poured the same one into all three. I wouldn't know.
We
But-
could have mixed and matched them too.
This one's nice,
That's true.
vanilla, sweet, smooth.
Maybe it's a triple
Not
mash.
a lot of bourbon kick.
It's a triple match.
I think I might know which one that one is.
Okay.
Say it.
Going to number 2.
Got some water.
Well,
Yeah, perhaps I should cleanse the palate a little bit. Good call.
Oh man, I'm helping you.
That one's different than that one. By a lot. I
It's-
feel like.
Two different beers, homie. Mm-hmm. Or is it?
If I had to guess, this is FO. This is FO 2019. If I had to guess right now, do not tell me. We'll see at the end. Tasting them back to back, this one doesn't have as much vanilla on the palate. I'm getting a little more chocolate on this one. Interesting. Okay, so these two are the coordinates. That one's the 2019. For sure. I knew this was gonna be hard.
You can't tell the difference. There's no way. Not even the professional brewmature.
This is my order.
What?
I'm gonna say this one first, second, third.
Did you say-
Uganda, Indonesia, and 2019.
Wait.
Did you just change them around?
Oh, I did.
We told you not to.
Hang on, this one goes here. This one goes here.
Okay, what did you say?
Okay, so first, second, third, Uganda, Indonesia, 2019.
Wait, what? You said Uganda, Indonesia in 2019?
Yeah. No, the other way?
Hold on.
Hold on, all right.
I can tell you. This is 2019.
Yeah.
This is Indonesia. This is Uganda.
Oh, so yep, it was too hard to tell with those fundamental
Yep.
coordinates. Too hard to tell.
Number 1 was Indonesia.
I thought for sure when you tasted the Indonesian one at the beginning, you're like, oh, it's sweet. I know what this is.
I guess that kind of goes back to proving the point where we were kind of just like trying to find
Yeah.
that difference.
Yeah.
There is definitely a difference between 2019 and these two,
Yeah.
but these two are definitely both the same mash bill. And those are double mashed and thick and have a lot of vanilla. But yeah, back to back, they're the same.
And it's not taking anything from them. They're still very good, but they're very similar. What are you feeling right now?
Sadness.
Do you think you can drive right now?
Definitely not. They are all good beers, I would say. I think I prefer a thicker, creamier stout, and that's what the double mash gives these two. This one is still good, but yeah, clearly different than these two. Maybe missing a little something.
So in a way, if you miss the Sunday dropping, or vice versa, Monday, Sunday, Monday, and you got one or the other, it's kind of
It's a toss-up. I mean, unless fresh, they were really different. After a year later, they don't taste that different. So if you got them, drink them now.
I can't imagine how different they would taste fresh because they're still so good. Like they're still really, really, really tasty. There's so much vanilla still.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you can tell they're vanilla based.
Oh, 100%. All of them vanilla. But yeah, on the taste, like I said, the 2019 was the only one where I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, the middle one, the first one is just like, you can taste the difference. The other ones, I guess unless you have like a trained palate, maybe you can taste them, but...
And we'll see down the line if the other ones really taste any different than these two. And we'll see if you two remember.
Yeah. And then if you guys want to see the same thing done at the end of each video, I think it might help.
I think it'll help. I think it'll help me.
The only one that stood out as different was the 2019.
Yeah. And it was clearly different, but it's a completely different beer basically at this point.
But they're all good. They're
all good, all tasty. If you have any of these, you're lucky. We're super lucky. That does it for today's beer review. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, we're the Brewers trying every vanilla from around the world. One bean at a time.
we can't trust your palate. Whose palate can we trust?
It's time to call Gus.
No. Who is Gus? Oh my god.
And until next time, we're the Brewers trying every vanilla from around the world.
Wow. One sip at a time.
How do you sip vanilla?
I don't know, I'm just being weird on the fly.